So UFC Fight Night Tatsuro Taira versus Hyung Sung Park just took place. I'm literally watching Tatsuro Taira speak to Michael Bisping right now. Of course, I had to hear him say, "I'm so happy, thank you" first. But Tony has died. I'm going to be telling you every fight that needs to get made after this Apex event. And I'm also going to be saying just my reactions and opinions to all the fights. So let's get straight into this, starting with the main event. Tatsuro Taira versus Hyung Sung Park, bro. This was Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby is what this really was. That's what the title of this fight night should have been, because Hyung Sung Park did not belong in there with Tatsuro Taira, and I think everyone that was watching this fight knew that this was the case. And I honestly feel really, really bad for Hyung Sung Park because he was 2-0 in the UFC. He had a good little run going. He just got fed to the sharks, man. Like let's just keep it a buck. The UFC just needed to squabble some shit together so that I'm gonna say this, bro. If I have to see that damn baseball ad or a WNBA ad one more time, I'm gonna crash out. The Apex is. I'm getting tired of the Apex, man. I am getting unbelievably tired of the Apex, them running ads on us over and over and over again. And just the quality of the cards is not good. But the fights are always super. Like the fights that we knew as fans were going to put on, like Rebecca, Taira, Briner, and Reebovich. Those should have been on pay-per-views, on prelims on pay-per-views, as openers for pay-per-views. Those need crowds, man. Those fights need to have crowds on them. And the Argentinian guy, I guess they're both Argentinian, but Vallejos, those people need crowds for their fights, man. Like it's just lame to just hear their coaches yelling at each. Like the Apex was cool in 2020 when it's like, okay, bro, this is kind of cool. We get to hear the punches, but now it's like, this is a combat sport and we want to hear people hit each other. But I'm getting off track here. Let me just talk about the fight a little bit. So, yeah, man, Taira just embarrassed Hyung Sung Park. Basically, took him down in the first round. Well, first he dropped him, landed a 1-2 on him, kind of wobbled him, and then landed a 2 again right after. Sat Park on his ass. Then he just kind of controlled him the whole time. Round 2, Taira goes out there, shoots a fucking single leg, gets it with ease. Then he takes Park's back, and then he chokes him out with a face crank. And this is kind of something that I was thinking about is like, obviously I would tap to a face crank if it was put on me by Tatsuro Taira, but like when you're at the highest level in the sport, you don't tap the face cranks. You know what I mean? Like that's just something you have to tough out. It's going to fucking suck. It's going to hurt. But someone like Park, who's pretty young, pretty early into his career, tapping to a face crank isn't something that, like Amir Albazi would not tap to a face crank. Joshua Van, he might actually because he's kind of young as well. But people that are super experienced don't tap to face cranks because they know it just sucks and you just got to ride it through. So I just felt really bad for Park in this fight because he just got fed to the wolves, and obviously Tatsuro Taira was going to win this. I was going to pick Taira against Albazi when that was the original fight, but yeah, Taira was going to win this fight 10 out of 10 times. Hopefully, Park can get a little better in the future, maybe climb the rankings. But for Tatsuro Taira, I think he should fight Brandon Moreno. I'm not sure if Brandon Moreno has a fight scheduled already, but I think rankings-wise that makes sense, and I think both of those guys are also one shot from the title, so they should do Tatsuro Taira versus Brandon Moreno. Maybe they can buff up that Mexico card they got going. And for Hyung Sung Park, I want to see him fight Jose Ochoa. He just fought Asu Almabayev. He put up a pretty impressive performance against Almabayev. A lot of people thought he got robbed, but he still looked like he was top 15 worthy. Hyung Sung Park just got a main event. Didn't take any damage. Ochoa barely took any damage. So I think Jose Ochoa versus Hyung Sung Park makes a lot of sense. And I'll say one more thing, right? Why does Tatsuro Taira look like he's hiding a fucking frog in his mouth all the time? This guy is just mogging 24/7, just straight mewing at me. Like he's just like staring into my soul and mewing 24/7. But that's all I got to say about Tatsuro Taira. He's really good. I like him a lot. His style can be fun if he's chasing submissions and doing ground and pound, but Yeah, man. I just felt like they kind of fucked up Hyung Sung Park's career because he had a lot of potential to him, and they just fed him straight to the wolves. And these kind of like, when will the UFC learn that this never works? Like, BSD got fed to Poirier, he got fucking slept. Like, Ikram got fed to fucking Robert Whitaker, he got slept. Like, anytime they just throw someone up the rankings, they always lose. And even with, you could say, Peter Yan versus O'Malley, that's like the exception, bro. And a lot of people think that fight was a robbery. So I just kind of feel bad for Hyung Sung Park. I mean, I've said that 3 times, but yeah, man. That's my opinion on the fight, bro. Not really much to say because Taira just dominated with ease. The next fight on the card was a fucking banger, bro. Probably fight of the year so far. Chris Duncan versus Mateusz Rebeski. Let me get this out of the way, bro. I saw a lot of people calling this fight a robbery. If your face looks like this at the end of the fight, it wasn't a robbery, bro. Look, I get it. The fight was competitive in the first round and the third round, and second round was all right. Like, I get it, bro. The fight was competitive, but when your face looks like this at the end of the fight, you can't give it to the other person, all right? Now, I guess you want to say that, bro, Mateusz Rebeski, he actually landed better shots in the third round. So I think that he barely edged out the first round, landed a little better shots in the third. Who did more damage in the fight? Let's just say it. Who did more damage in this fight? Who landed better shots? Who did cuts on him? Who wobbled their opponent? It was Chris Duncan, man. Chris Duncan had fucking Rebeski doing the stanky leg at one point. He had my face was a balloon. My face was a fucking balloon, yeah. His face was literally swollen up like the side. He was trying to hide a fucking tennis ball in his eye socket, get it through TSA or some shit. He's got a fucking cut the size of the fucking Grand Canyon on his forehead. He did it all in the second round. You can't, or the first round, you can't say, bro, he landed more punches in the first round. Who had a golf ball hiding in their fucking forehead in the end of the first round? It was Rebeski. And so we can't give Rebeski the first round. And in the third round, I honestly gave it 30-27 to Chris Duncan, bro. So, yeah, man, I just thought that Chris Duncan landed better shots. He cut Rebeski. He swole his face up. He rocked him. If your face looks like this, bro, you didn't win the fight. And people saying that the fight was a robbery are kind of dumb to me. But I'll say this, bro. The fight was crazy as fuck. And a huge respect to Rebeski and huge respect to, bro, I'm blanking on Duncan. Huge respect to both of them because they just went in there and slugged it out. And here's what I'll say about Chris Duncan. He's like an anomaly. This guy is like an anomaly because he just either goes out there and guillotines his opponent, kind of like, I'm not going to say a fluke, but because he's throwing the submission up, but he'll be getting out techniqued by his opponent and then he'll just throw up the sub and get it. It's either that or, like, I don't think anybody was picking Duncan to win by decision, bro. He literally just went and outdogged Rebeski, whatever. He went out and outdogged Rebeski at what Rebeski's best at, which is having a war. He literally just went out there, bit down on the mouth guard, and did what Rebeski does to other people to Rebeski. And that's super impressive. And so I think that Chris Duncan deserves a ranked opponent, man. I think that Chris Duncan deserves to fight someone like Michael Chandler or maybe even Moicano. I know they both train at American Top Team, but I think Moicano makes sense. And for Rebeski, I think Rebeski should fight the loser of Benoit Saint-Denis and Mauricio Ruffy. So, excuse me. I think that they're kind of like, I think Rebeski and BSD are on like a similar level skill-wise, and I think that that's just like guaranteed violence. Sorry if I just spoiled who I think is going to win Ruffy versus BSD, but yeah, man, I just think that I think that'd be a good fight, and I think BSD will lose to Ruffy. So, and he just took a bunch of damage as well, and it's like, okay, he took all this damage. Just, he's gonna need some time off. BSD's probably gonna get slept. He'll need time off. So, yeah, I think that's the fight to make. I think it's a no-brainer. The next fight on the card was Elves Briner versus Esteban Reebovich, bro. Esteban Reebovich is slowly becoming one of my favorite fighters, bro, because when this guy fights, it is a guaranteed banger every single time. And so, same thing with Elves Briner, right? But with Reebovich, bro, he literally fights exactly like a default Max Holloway. He fights like a shittier Joshua Van, a shittier Max Holloway, where he's just straight volume, walking forward no matter what. Except he can't really take a hit as much. He has a lot less power than them. He doesn't throw as much as them as well. But he still is really, really fun to watch no matter what, because he'll put on a dogfight every single time with volume and shit, right? I actually picked Elves Briner to win this fight because we just watched Zell Huber have a super close fight with Michael Johnson where he just got, he lost to Michael Johnson. So I was like, okay, bro, if this dude's losing to Michael Johnson and he's having a close fight with Zell Huber, but I guess it's just like stylistically, Zell Huber's a bad matchup for Reebovich, and Reebovich still won. It's because Zell Huber's got the countering or whatever. But listen, the point I'm trying to make here is that this fight was fucking awesome. Like, just from top to bottom. They went out there. Reebovich just walked forward the whole time, threw fucking hooks and hooks and hooks and 1-2s, and he threw fucking uppercuts and he actually stuffed all the takedowns from Elves Briner as well. And I thought Elves Briner was going to be able to get a little bit of grappling off, maybe just kind of lay on him a little bit. Wasn't able to do that at all in the fight because Esteban Reebovich, he stuffed every single takedown. And yeah, man, he's got that dog, and I'm gonna fuck with Esteban Reebovich a lot right now. So I just looked at my phone, and guess what? Reebovich and Briner got fight of the night, and so did Reski and Duncan. So I'm glad they gave out 2 fight of the nights because there weren't as many finishes on this card as I'm glad. Usually they'll give out 2 bonuses and then only 1 fight of the night. Both of those fights deserved fight of the night. That shit. I mean, this fight was fucking crazy, man. Like, I was like, there's no way they can talk. Like, it just slowly got better and better because you remember the fight with the Argentinian. I keep forgetting his fucking name. The guy who fought Gene Silva. He just fought Danny Silva. Vallejos. I was like, dude, this Vallejos fight is going to be fight of the night. And then Briner versus Reebovich happened, and I was like, bro, this Briner versus Reebovich fight is going to be fight of the night. And then Reski versus Duncan happened. It just got crazier and crazier and crazier every time. So, yeah, man. This fight was absolute fireworks. I really like Esteban Reebovich. I think that he should fight, I'm pretty sure Edson Barbosa and someone else are fighting each other. Who is it? Or maybe he could fight Michael Johnson, bro. Because Michael Johnson just beat Zell Huber. You could do Reebovich versus Johnson, and then for Briner, he's got a negative UFC record, man. I like him a lot. Hopefully they don't cut him because he's been getting good competition. All these people will probably be ranked in the future. Maybe he could fight. I don't know who he should fight, but yeah, what a good fight. People forget, man. People forget the legend of Neil Magny, who now has more wins than GSP. The legend of Neil Magny. He just keeps adding names to his resume. The lineal middleweight champion. He just beat someone who beat Sean Strickland, who beat Adesanya, who beat Anderson Silva. Neil Magny is the GOAT of the sport, and Unk still got it, bro. Unk still got it. Neil Magny's out here fucking catching bodies at the ripe age of 43 years old. Put fucking Eliski dos Santos in a fucking pack. I know I just pronounced his name. That's one name I can never pronounce right, bro. But he just put him in a fucking pack, rolled him up, and smoked him like a joint. He did the classic Neil Magny bullshit where he's losing the entire time, and then he just decides to lock in. All the people that Neil Magny lost to, he just felt bad for him, bro. Every person that Neil Magny's ever lost to, he's just like, all right, bro, I'll let you win this one. I feel bad for you. We need to have a little bit of excitement in my career, Neil Magny went out there, right? And he put on a fucking classic Neil Magny performance where he got his legs kicked the fuck out of him. He got taken down. He got held down. He got ground and pounded. And then he just said, fuck it, I'm locking in. He stood up. He shook EDS off his fucking back and just fucking knocked him out. And I'll say this, bro. Neil Magny, low-key, had some of the best ground and pound in welterweight, bro. Think about it. He ground and pounded Mike Mallet in the same exact position where he just took his back, flattened him out, and just fucking landed crazy ground and pound shots on the back of his head. So, Yeah, man. Neil Magny still got it, bro. And I'm really surprised that he won this fight because I really thought that after that protest KO, he was completely cooked, bro. Like, even the Morales KO was bad, but the protest KO, I was like, there's no way bro comes back from this. And he's back, bro. And he's old, and he still got it, bro. So, the Neil Magny title run starts today. Better watch out for this motherfucker because he's coming for JDM. And I'll say this, bro. Shavkat didn't duck Neil Magny. JDM's ducking Neil Magny, bro. JDM, he ducked Neil Magny on the come up, man. But, nah. Unk still got it. Let's go for Neil Magny. Let's go for that, all right? The next fight on the card was Kevin Vallejo versus Danny Silva. Fucking banger, bro. I don't know why Danny Silva thought he was Cody Garbrandt or some shit. He would get, like, fucking cracked in the face as hard as possible, and then he would just start emoting like he like won the exchange. Like, nah, bro, like, you're not Marab. You gotta actually win your fights to get the fucking scorecards, you know. He just started emoting, right? But yeah, big respect for Danny Silva. He's definitely on my watch list now for people. He'll definitely win his next fight if they give him a gimme. Vallejo is a hard person to beat, bro. Like, if you watch the Dana White the Dana White's Contender Series fight. God, I cannot fucking speak tonight. Dude, I went and played golf earlier today, and it just started raining. And I just got fucking soaked, and I feel like shit now because it was cold after it started raining. I'm getting off subject here, but my fucking throat hurts, and I feel like my wisdom teeth are coming in too. So, and I got a fucking deviated septum, so I can't even breathe out of my fucking nose. But that's the reason I sound like this. But listen, I'm getting off track here, bro. The fucking fight was crazy, alright? Vallejo just starts emoting. Not Vallejo. Silva starts emoting, thinking that he's winning the fight, but he just keeps getting cracked. He's fighting with his hands down. He's, like, pointing to the ground. He got taken down a couple of times in this fight. Vallejo didn't really get to do anything with his takedowns, which is why I was kind of impressed with Danny Silva, his ability to get back up. And he was in the fight the whole time. Honestly, there is an argument that he won the first round. I was thinking that. I was talking to my friends whenever this fight was going on in a group chat I'm in with them. And I was like, I think Silva won the first. But considering now, I think Vallejo's probably won 30-27. But, yeah, man. This fight was crazy as fuck. Vallejo is someone that needs to be looking out for because he's good as fuck. Like, you can just tell he has that fast twitch muscle in him where he can just fucking turn it on and go, man. So, I'm going to be looking out for Vallejo, and I'm going to be looking out for Silva, too, because they're going to be on the come-up. Let's good luck to him, bro. Good luck to him. The next fight on the card was Rinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. My boy. Thank God Nakamura decided to lock in. Dude, what's crazy about this guy is he has a couple of wins in the UFC. I'm pretty sure they're road to UFC wins. He lost his last fight to Muin Gafarov. Like, how do you lose to Muin Gafarov, right? And I was thinking, all right, man, this is a close fight. Nakamura is going to go out there. You know, he's the Olympic wrestler. He's got to go out there, man. He's got to get them takedowns, man. And if he doesn't get the takedowns, he's fucked. He just goes out there, kicks Nathan Fletcher in the body, knocks Nathan Fletcher out, finishes him off with ground and pound, man. Like, this card was super unpredictable. Everyone was missing fucking fights left and right. Especially me, because I did terrible. I picked Nakamura in this fight, but I picked against Magny, and I picked against Reski, and I picked, there were some fucking fights I missed, but that's besides the point. The point I'm trying to make here is that Rinya Nakamura, man, I'm glad you finally could show off your skills, because you were at one point one of the best prospects, and after the fight with Muin Gafarov, I thought you were completely toast on the feet. I thought you stood no chance on the feet against Fletcher. If you couldn't get takedowns, you were screwed. Well, you proved me wrong, man. You just body shot him and knocked him out with ease. So, and he went to the casino right after, bro. I don't know if you guys saw the interview they did with Nakamura, and they're like, "What are your plans? What are your plans after you win?" He's like, "I am going to a casino. I'm going to play blackjack." You know. So, shout out Rinya Nakamura. He's a G. And let's move on to the next fight, bro. I cannot believe I picked Tresean Gore. I cannot believe I picked Tresean Gore to win this fight. I don't know what I was thinking, bro. I was thinking, bro, Tresean Gore, he's low-key underrated, man. His record isn't what it really says. I should have never picked someone that got knocked out by Cody Brundage, bro. I don't care if it was fluky. Someone that loses to Cody Brundage, you should not be picking them. So I apologize for anyone that I tried to persuade to pick Tresean Gore. It was a bad pick, bro. I don't know what this fucking guy's deal is. Cut him from the UFC. I'm sorry. He's like 5-5 now. Like his record is literally 5. Literally, I can't fucking talk today. His record is 5-5, bro. Cut him, bro. I'm sorry. I might be raging out on Tresean Gore here. He seems like a cool dude or whatever, right? God, I get so much fucking bullshit, bro. Like I can't even talk shit about the fighters without people being like, bro, you're so mean. You're so mean to the fighters. They're fucking. This is a fucking sport, man. I'm allowed to be mad. All right. As a fucking person who watches the sport, I can fucking analyze the fucking fighters. Obviously, they would kill me if we ever fought, right? But the point that I'm trying to make here, bro, is Tresean Gore needs to be cut from the UFC. He got look, he did stuff the takedowns like I said he would, but then he looked like he regressed in his striking. Like he only has he's like a 2.5 star in UFC 5. He can't put any more fucking points up, bro. He just took all of his striking points and dumped them all into fucking takedown defense, and I don't even know, bro. But enough fucking ranting about Tresean Gore. Let's move on to the next one. The next fight that was on the card was Nick Klein versus Andre Pulv. And basically what happened in this fight is Andre Pulv completely exposed Nick Klein for having the worst cardio in UFC history. I cannot talk today. I'm not re-recording this shit. I'm already 21 minutes deep in, bro. But basically what happened... Sorry, I don't need to sound frustrated, right? Basically what happened was Nick Klein went out there. I'm just mad because I got another pick wrong, all right? But Nick Klein, he went out there and he took Pulv down in the first round and just completely outclassed him and destroyed him at every aspect. And then he remembered, I didn't even hop on a treadmill before I came here. I didn't do any cardio training whatsoever. Completely gassed, got body kicked, and dropped his hands after he got body kicked, and then he got 1-2 and knocked out. So I don't know how Nick Klein managed to lose to the worst middleweight on the entire roster in Pulv, but he did. And so he kind of looks like a Michael Chiesa clone. And so they got to send him, you can't even send him to the Apex, bro. Because they're already at the Apex. You got to send him to the fucking regional scene, bro. Like, take both of these guys and light them on fire outside. I'm just kidding. But listen, fuck both of these guys. Next fight on the card was Austin Bashy versus John Yanis. John Yanis never belonged in the UFC in the first place. He took the fight on short notice. We found out Austin Bashy perfectly fit into the fucking curly hair white guy genetic code. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, Austin Bashy, this is kind of a hot take, bro, but he kind of reminds me of an early Khabib. Like Khabib, when he first came to the UFC, when his striking was like super mid, but he had really, really, really good grappling and wrestling, and he ground and pounded everybody. Austin Bashy kind of reminds me of Khabib in that sense, where it's like his striking is all right and it gets him by in some instances, but his wrestling is super good. He took the back and just fucking choked his opponent out. So shout out Austin Bashy. Super good prospect. And this is another guy that was kind of similar to Rinya Nakamura, where they both got fraud checked. Just don't fight C-Rod, bro. You can't fight C-Rod. If you fight C-Rod, you're going to lose. He's the fucking fraud checker or whatever. So, yeah, man. Austin Bashy gets it done. John Yanis, he got signed because he was just around. So, I don't know if they're going to give him another fight or whatever, but I wouldn't. So he looked pathetic in this fight. The next fight on the card, and the last fight I'll be talking about, I'm not going to be talking about the women's fights, was Rafael Estav versus Felipe Bunes. Estav gets it done. He just kind of laid on, he's undefeated. Bunes was like 14-7. He's like 14-8 now. I don't really think Bunes ever really belonged in the UFC to begin with. Estav was undefeated. He was obviously going to take Bunes down. Bunes kept going for like the most unorthodox fucking bullshit, trying like classic Brazilian bullshit where they just lay on bottom, throwing up submissions, hoping they'll get them, bro. It's like you're getting destroyed. You're getting absolutely bodied right now in this fight. You need to do something besides just throw up submissions from bottom and hope that you maybe get them, bro. So, yeah, man. Estav just took him down, mauled him on the ground, threw up a couple submission attempts of his own, and then just threw ground and pound on him. So, Estav, he's good. I don't think he's going to be great, though. Like, I could definitely see him having problems in the future if his takedowns get stuffed. Ignore this fruity-ass position that I put up on the screen, bro. He did a good job for most of the fight, so yeah. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, sorry. I fucked up the video already. I'm not fucking editing that shit. But basically, here are my picks. I picked Taira to win. I got that right. Got 4 wrong in a row. I got Reski wrong, Briner wrong, Cornoli wrong, and Zaleski wrong. I got Vallejo's correct. I got Nakamura right. I got Gore wrong. Why did I fucking pick Gore? That's literally the most easy layup of all time. I thought I was sneaky trying to pick Briner too, bro. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I got Bashy right. I got Estav right. I got Rodriguez right. I got Taira. So I went 6 out of 12. Pretty pathetic for me, bro. Like, I was always gonna pick Reski. I should have picked Reebovich because now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, Briner has better power, but he's not really good at taking volume. So I should have picked Reebovich. That Zellhuber fight left such a bad taste in my mouth, bro. But I didn't really care about the women's fight, so you want to not count the one I got right, count the one I got wrong. I went 10-5. So we're not counting the women. So that will do it for the video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.